And that was Martin Markovich reporting. We want to bring in Laura Carlsen, who joins us from Mexico City now. She's the director of the Americas program at the Center for International Policy. Welcome back to the broadcast. As you know, Mr. Guzman is facing 7 indictments in the U.S. courts on drug trafficking and murder. How likely is it he will be extradited to the U.S.?
It's a sticky question because it's a big embarrassment to the Mexican government to extradite him. Essentially, the message is we are unable to apply justice here in Mexico and to assure that he won't break out of prison again, because we're talking about someone who has broken out of prison twice in high security prisons here in Mexico. And the general belief is that high-level politicians, as well as the level of prison guards, were involved in enabling him to make those escapes. The pressure on him from the United States on President Peña Nieto is very heavy. There are the congressional representatives that you mentioned that are calling for extradition. There are states that are calling for extradition. It's not a done deal by law. There's decisions to be made in both countries regarding whether it really happens or not. But there's also pressure because a spokesperson or an expert from the FBI said that the United States was very involved in this capture, and that in some ways Mexico owes it to the United States to extradite this public enemy #1, Chapo Guzman.
Laura, as you just said, he escaped these maximum security prisons twice, and he didn't do it alone. He's very connected. Why put him back in the same prison just on how it looks alone? It just doesn't look right.
Yes, there would have to be guarantees, and nobody really believes that those guarantees exist. So it's going to be difficult for the Mexican government and for President Peña Nieto to convince Mexican society and the world at large that they have the capacity and the political will on all levels to actually keep El Chapo Guzman in prison. It wasn't a technical problem. The fact that he was able to build this huge tunnel and escape this last time, and it wasn't a technical problem the first time either. It was clear that there was high-level complicity that enabled him to escape. So in that sense, the decision may be for extradition to avoid any doubts about whether this will be the last capture of El Chapo.
Laura, it's been reported that one of El Chapo's sons has been on social media saying, quote, "As my dad says, if I'm not around, Ivan Guzman will be there to be respected." What is the future of the Sinaloa drug cartel at this point?
This is a very important question because there's a lot of drama in a capture like this, and there have been all sorts of declarations declaring that it's a major triumph in the war on drugs to have El Chapo Guzman behind bars. And yet what we know from experience is that it doesn't make a huge difference. For one thing, the Sinaloa cartel, Chapo was already in prison for a year, continues to operate because it has structures. It's a transnational organization. It's a huge business. It has structures in place that mean that if one person, even it's the capo, the head person, is taken out, those structures continue to operate. His son will undoubtedly play a role, and there are also longtime colleagues that have been running the cartel alongside El Chapo Guzman, and especially in these days when he's been on the run and not as able to attend to business. So probably what will happen is that we will not see the instant demise of the Sinaloa cartel. We didn't see it when it was behind bars before. And instead, we may even see an increase in violence, because this has been the pattern. When you take out a capo, there's oftentimes more conflict between cartels as the rival cartels see a possibility that the Sinaloa cartel, in this case, is weakened and seek to take over some of its drug trafficking routes and business.
Laura Carlsen, we thank you for your time and your insight joining us live in Mexico City.